Hi, this is Jeff from Airstream Nerds, and I'd like to introduce the Beech Lane Camper Levelers. They look pretty familiar. When I get back, I'll tell you why the change, and I'll tell you a little bit more about them.
Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream Nerds.
So these are the Beech Lane Levelers. They are 6 inches by 15 inches long. You can take, just like the other ones, I can go from 4 inches to a half an inch, depending on how far back I roll up. They are rated at 35,000 pounds, which is higher than any other model on the market. They're made from a custom nylon polymer blend. They will work with your tires up to 30 inches. And there are 3 different versions of this. There is a single pack, which is the chock, the leveler, and the pad. There's the 2-pack for campers like I have, where I have 2 tires. So it comes with 2 chocks, 2 levelers, and 2 pads. And then you have the deluxe version, which is everything you see here, which basically just adds the bag. So you get a nice bag that everything fits in, and you get the two sets. This is the set that I needed for my car, or for my trailer, so that's what I purchased. They do have a lifetime warranty, so if anything breaks, they will replace it free of charge. And just in case, if they don't fit between your tires, you can cut them 4 inches in. So basically in between the first circle and the second circle, you can cut this off with a bandsaw or whatever, and you can use these still in between your tires. This is the familiar Anderson leveler that I've been using since I purchased our Airstream, or pretty much since we purchased Airstream. It's one of the first things that we bought. And as you can see, it is almost identical. The Beech Lane product is almost identical to the Anderson. There are some subtle differences that make the Beech Lane a much improved product. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing this Beech Lane Camper Leveler into my mix is that in 2018, the owner of Anderson defaced an iconic natural arch near Moab, and it got a huge backlash in the RV community, and there are lots of people that have boycotted any Anderson product. So I figured that we should at least have an alternative product, and Beech Lane fits the bill. I reached out to Beech Lane to check out their product, and it did, and I thought originally that it was an identical product to the Anderson. I did not think that it was better or worse. I just thought it was different color. But now that I have both of them side by side, I can tell that this is a much improved product. You can see that they've done the same thing. You've got the recessed holes, but one of the complaints that I've heard about the Anderson is that they crack a lot. And I'm sure it's up in this top range where it's really thin and there's no structure in this part here. Well, Beech Lane has solved that issue by putting this cross piece in the largest hole, which adds strength and rigidity to this part of the leveler. On the top side and the bottom side and the back side, they're identical. Now I added the grip tape to the Anderson. You'll see that. I'll put a link to that video below. I'm going to do the same thing to the Beech Lane product, just because I feel like as my tire goes up, that this is much more grip, and it just makes me feel safer, even though it probably has no bearing on whether the tires slide or anything on there. So the other part that we have here is the chock. Now, if you notice the chock again, it's the same size, same form factor. They're virtually identical, but if you look on the bottom of the Anderson compared to the Beech Lane has added a whole bunch more support, which adds a few ounces of weight, not a lot, but it definitely makes this thing feel much stronger, much more solid piece of plastic. Now this is how they're used. Put the mat down in the center of your tire here. wedge this thing under your first tire. Put the other mat between your tires. Now this is where the cutting would come in. I don't have the problem here, but if I did, if these tires were too close and I couldn't get it in there without hitting it, then I would just cut one of them down. So I like to make sure it's centered on the tire and it's not cocked in there like that. So I'm gonna put it under there nice and solid. Nice and solid. It's lined up on the pad. I'm gonna start the truck. Now, I'm on a level surface right now, so I don't really need to raise up the level of my vehicle, but I'm going to pull forward anyway so you can see how these the way that they pivot and the way they lift the vehicle up. So now let me pull up on them and you can see how this works. Now at this point, I'm up about halfway, and let's go back and take a look and see what we got. So as you can see, my tires have been lifted up a couple of inches off the ground. They're sitting on here. Now, once they're up, you take this other side and what I like is I have a hammer, a small like dead blow hammer that I'll tap these in, and once you take the trailer off, basically with the angle here and the way it cradles the tire, it acts like a chock on this side. I still put a X chock in this side and I use a regular chock on that side, but what this has done now is it's lifted up the trailer, what do you say, about 1.5 inches or so on this side. So you can check your leveler, your level, your bubble lever, whatever you use, and it will let you know when you're level. So what I generally do is I have a electric level inside that I can read from the cab of my truck. I've got a video on that, and it essentially will tell me when I'm level. So I just look at my phone in the cab of the truck, pull forward until it shows that I'm left and right level, and I stop. It takes me all of 30 seconds to level my truck, level my trailer. Now, the only problem you may ever have is if you're in places where there's not a level sites. Here on the East Coast, we've been to a lot of places, and we haven't found very many sites that were crazy out of level. Sometimes in the site itself, there might be a rut, and what I'll do is in my truck with the leveler, I'll pull forward and move it over, 6-8 inches to get out of the rut, just so I can see. As long as I'm less than 4 inches on my level mate, then I know for sure that I can use these. So getting off of these is the same way, although it's much easier to have a second person to help you with this. So first thing you're gonna do, now remember I've knocked these in with a hammer, so I would probably just take my hammer and knock them loose again to take them out. They were just finger tight here. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your chocks out, and you're gonna make sure that, of course, make sure that you don't have anything leaning against the back of your camper, because I'm gonna back off of these. Now, one thing I didn't point out is you can put these in the back or you can have them this way where you pull up on them, or you can flip them around and back up on them. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's the same thing. One way is not better than the other. So in this case, we're backing off of them. We pulled up onto them and we're backing off of them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in the truck. I have Lori here videoing this. She's gonna yell at me when I'm backing off, because I have pulled onto these things and pulled off of these things, and essentially you just drop off. It doesn't hurt nothing. If you go too fast, one of these might pop up in here and it could do something, but when I'm backing off, this thing kind of lifts up, and what I don't want it to do is I don't want to back off of this one and then back onto the edge of this one. So she's going to yell at me when I've got it cleared, and then I'll know to stop. All right, so I got the signal that I was far enough back. You can also feel the camper. You can feel the weight coming off of them. So once you've pulled off of them, you take them out from under your trailer. You put them back in the bag if you've bought that package, and you go on your way. So what I've done is I've talked a lot about something that's really simple, and I've talked and made it sound kind of complicated, but it really is simple as what you saw. You pull up, you lock it in, you unlock it, you pull off. This is Jeff from Airstream Nerds. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Put your comments below if you have any, and I will see you on the next trip.